Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I am a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my channel today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet. And every now and then I'll splash something in between that to just keep things interesting. If you find that of interest to you, please stick around, watch this video, and if you enjoyed as much as I know you will, then of course hit the like button, and if you're so inclined, try me out. Give me a subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And last but not least, stay up to date and current with me and my channel by hitting that notification button. So, without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. As the title of this video suggests, this is Granny Square-A-Palooza Part 3. So, we're just going to jump right into it. The very first blanket that I want to show you is kind of a scrap can, but not really. It was made with leftover yarns, but technically I could have held on to it and made a legit project out of these leftovers. There was a lot of the same leftovers, kind of. Before I spread it out, let me just give you a little synopsis. So, purple, teal, variegated, berry, purple, teal. So all of this up to here is all made with Valuecraft yarn, including the variegated yarn as well. This is all Valuecraft here. And then we jump into the Caron Jumbo here. I think it's called Lake Mist. This is Redart Super Saver in the black. And then I jump back into Valuecraft. Redart Super Saver, Valuecraft, Redart Super Saver. And then, don't ask me why, but I decided to just throw on some 3-weight yarn here. I had it left and I put it on there. Makes no sense because the thickness that this is giving me is not what the ends give me. Note to self, keep the yarn weights the same. And if I'm going to go to a lighter weight class, maybe double up to keep the consistency throughout the blanket. Note to self. Anyway, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and open this up for you guys. It does measure 54 inches wide, so slightly larger than 4 feet square. And this was made with a 5mm hook. Let me just lift this up so you guys can see the rest of it. Very, very nice. Okay, so this is a typical project that I would donate, and I do plan on donating this very blanket. So that's Granny Blanket number 1. Let's put that one over there. This next one here that I have, excuse me, all the blankets I'm showing you are right here. This next one that I want to show you here is made out of Caron Jumbo. The colorway is called Blues and Blush. And the white that you're seeing here is Caron 1 pound in the off-white. This project here took 3 skeins of the Caron Jumbo and almost 1 skein of the Caron 1 pound in the off-white. This measures 56 inches square. I like this blanket because of the coral and the blue. It's very nice. It gives, there's mauve shades in here. You have mauve with the blue and the coral colors. It's very nice. Again, made it with a 5mm hook. Another donating blanket. Can't wait for them to get that one. This next one that I want to show you here is Redart Super Saver Mistletoe. And a few rows here at the end of white. Redart Super Saver made with a 5mm hook. Give you a close-up. And now let me open it up and show you the full situation. This is 48 inches square. And yes, it's very graphic. Love that. I don't know if I'm donating this just yet. I may keep this through the holidays. I wound up buying 20 skeins of Redart Super Saver in Mistletoe for a project that I've completed that I will show you guys in December when we get closer to Christmas. I do have plans to show you a project with this particular colorway. This is what was left over. I had 4 skeins left, and that's what made this. So I'm either going to donate it after Christmas or hold on to it. I'm not sure yet. But I'm definitely going to use this during the Christmas season in my house. So there's that. The next one that I have here, is my fall blanket that I made. I used Redart Super Saver in the colorway Fall, in the colorway Latte, and then I also use Karen 1 pound in the color Off-White, 5mm crochet hook, and this measures 52 inches square. Yes, very nice, very nice. Again, I make these blankets in between other projects. Like if I'm making a beanie or a scarf or something, to break up the monotony of my projects, I will work on a granny square blanket. So, especially if it's one of those tedious ones where you have to count stitches and all those things. This is mindless work. I can put on Netflix and I don't even have to look. I can just feel my way through the stitches. And before I know it, I have a blanket in front of me. So it's another reason why I like doing these. I'm working, but not really working. So nice blanket there. This next one here was made with Lion Brand Mandala in the colorway Spirit. And I used 4 cakes. Each cake is 590 yards, which I did the math. It comes out to be 2,360 yards, and I used a 5mm crochet hook. But because the weight of the yarn was a 3 weight, it came out super tiny. So, super tiny, super light. For 4 skeins, or for 4 cakes, I mean, it came out to be 52 inches. Yeah. Super, super, super tiny. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up. Love the colorway. The blue and the gray, timeless. Love that. And this next one, sorry, showing you the top of my cap here. Redart Super Saver stripes in the colorway Pull. Is it Pull? Sorry. Polo stripe. And this took 10 skeins. Each skein was 236 yards, so 2,362. Isn't that weird? Wow. Maybe I'm not mathing correctly. Yes. 236 times 10 is 2,360. And the weird part about this, guys, is I decided to do this blue on the last row here, and it doesn't match with anything in the entire blanket. I just wanted a way to finish it. I should have finished it in another colorway, but I don't know. I wasn't thinking. What's done is done. It's a donation blanket, so I know they're going to love it regardless of what I put on the ends. So that's fine. This one here, I mathed it incorrectly. It's not 2,360. Or is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. Yes, it is. Okay. Sorry. I'm not mathing correctly. The computations in my head are not correct. 590 times 4, 2,360. And 236 times 10 skeins is 2,360. Okay, there we go. Both of those blankets are made with the same amount of yarn, just different thickness. How cool is that? Okay, get up there. Okay, so those blankets were recent makes, and I do plan on donating them. Some more recent, some maybe in the near future. The mistletoe blanket is the one I'm talking about more specifically, but those are the blankets that I will be donating. I have some organizations and charities that I've recently looked into that I am considering donating to. I will share that information with you, but before I get into that, I want to show you some of my older makes. Like in the other previous episodes, I shared some of my older makes, and this episode is no different. So this first one here, I made about 18 years ago. All Karen 1 pound in various colorways. Let me stand up and show you guys. Now, there is another one where it's a different size. So there's two blankets that look similar. I think in another episode I showed something like this. But this one here is the bigger one of the two. It's twice the size. And yeah, I can't remember all of the exact names, but I can tell you the deep teal is here. I can't remember the name of that. Yeah, I can't remember the names exactly. But this is the peach, and I will tell you that the shade has changed over the years because I have the peach right here. And that is the old peach, and this is the new peach. Actually, I'm lying. This is coral. What is the matter with you, Juan? Get your life. Sorry, guys. It hasn't changed. That's peach, and that is coral. What is the matter with me? Anyway, this is the blanket from years past. And I want to show you guys one of my mistakes on this blanket. So I added too many squares to this side here. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I didn't know how to undo my sewing. Look at that knot. Anyway, I just took a pair of scissors and I said, well, I can't get it off, so I'm just going to cut. So I cut that square off and left it as is. And I did that because it's a story that I can tell people. Every time they look at this blanket, they're going to look at it and say, what happened to the corner of the blanket? And then I can tell them about my history with crocheting and the mistake I made and all the things. So it's a great conversation piece, although it's not visually stimulating. Yeah, it's something to talk about. So, and obviously I love to talk. That's why I'm sitting in front of you. So, great conversation piece. This next one I made about that long ago as well. I went through a phase where I was learning how to sew squares. You remember I talked about this in a previous episode where I didn't know how to do it. My first project was a fail by every account because the stitches weren't right, and then later on I started granny squares and I didn't know how to join them properly. They were lopsided and weird looking. Well, I learned how to eventually join my squares together, but the lesson that needed to be learned with this particular project was you can't just choose any color to join your squares. It has to make sense. Well, I decided to join my blue and white squares with purple yarn. So I am going to show you this up close. I don't know if the camera's going to see that, but it's purple yarn that I have joining this blanket. And I said to myself back then, oh, it's no big deal. Nobody's going to see it. Well, I see it. I look at it now and I'm like, Juan, what were you doing? I mean, it's not bad for a beginner, you know. My squares are not even. It's very hodgy-podgy, you know, craft project. But, you know, I get an A for effort, right? Okay, so these are the squares. And you know what? I mean, what is up with me putting the same 3 squares in a row, right? And then, let's see, out of the whole entire blanket, I had one row where all the squares were the same. So I had a pattern going on at this bottom row here, obviously, right? Let me lift that up. Kind of, I guess. No, not really. Yeah, this is a craft project. Nothing professional but I just knew that I was the best back then at this. I look back now and I'm like, wow, Juan. And so, yeah. This has 12 squares. All of them are different except for 3, and I had to put them all together. A for effort, right, guys? I mean, seriously, I tried my best. I used purple yarn to join this. It's years and years and years old. Okay, sorry. Sidetracked. Okay. So yeah, those are the blankets that I wanted to show you. Some back in the day makes, some recent makes that I plan on donating. These last 2, I'm not getting rid of. They're my history. I'm sentimentally attached to them. They're conversation pieces. Every time that I show people my work, I talk about it. I talk about my history with those. So, and by the way, those 2 projects I did make with a 5.5 millimeter hook. These 2 were made with a bigger hook, 5.5. Everything recently made, 5 millimeter hook. And this entire blanket was made with Caron 1 pound. Light blue, forget the name of this colorway, and then of course white. So, like I told you guys in other videos, I was always obsessed with Caron 1 pound. A lot of my older projects have Caron 1 pound in it. And, you know, just because you got a lot of yarn, a lot of bang for your buck. And even then, I was a thrifty shopper. You know, I wanted to get as much yarn as possible for as cheap as possible to just get what I wanted done. I know so much more now than I did back then. But then again, back then, there weren't as many choices. I mean, you had different yarns and things, but like, not like the choices that we have today. So back then, I was like, let me just get yarn. Let me just get as much as I can for a decent price. Let me sit in my room behind closed doors and make what I do. So, yeah, there's that. So, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my granny's Square-A-Palooza. I hope you take away something from all this, even if it is just a small little chuckle. Yeah, so there's a few local charities that I have recently looked into that I'm considering donating to, and I just wanted to share that information with you. You can look into it yourself or not, it's okay. I will link this information into the description box below. There's one that really caught my eye. It's called projectlinus.org. That is the name of the website, projectlinus.org. They provide handmade blankets donated to them from people like us to children from 0 to 18 years of age in the United States who are seriously ill, traumatized, or otherwise in need. There are chapters in every state. So when you go into the website and you click, locate my chapter, it will bring up the list, and you can choose your state, and then it will then drill down into, the local area of Project Linus in your state. So if you're interested in donating to them, just go to the website and follow the path, and yes. The next one that I'm looking into is warmthforwarriors.com. They collect hats and scarves, and of course now, since Christmas season is upon us, they're also collecting Christmas stockings, and they're going to be distributing those to active and retired military members. I figured this was fitting since it's Veterans Day. It's always nice to give back to those who serve their country. So whatever your viewpoint is on that, I always feel like if someone provided a service, and I have the means to provide a service, why not meet in the middle? So with it being Veterans Day, this is a great way to, offer our support to those who serve our country. So there's that. And last but not least, Mary Mother of Hope. So they are it's a local charity / place, and what that is, it's a shelter for single mothers and mothers with children who are displaced due to domestic violence or whatever. They're just displaced and they need somewhere to stay. You can donate to them by their website, so I will attach that as well. I actually have another one, blanketsforvets.org. So if you want to donate blankets to vets, blanketsforvets.org. So, okay, that's enough of that. Hopefully you enjoyed my video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, sound off in the comments below. I do interact with my viewers, so yes, that's all I have for now. So until the next time, guys, take it easy and take care.